Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a truth that might shake you. You are not tired. You are uninspired. You don't need more sleep. You don't need another break. What you need is a reason so big, so powerful, that quitting is no longer an option. Most people are stuck in cycles of inconsistency because they've built their lives around waiting for motivation. They believe that in order to move, in order to push, in order to produce, they have to feel inspired. But that mindset is one of the biggest traps holding people back from achieving real success. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind, showing up strong on a good day and vanishing completely the moment resistance appears. If your actions are dependent on your feelings, you will live a life ruled by your moods instead of your mission. There are days when motivation will be nowhere to be found. Days when you feel tired, uninspired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. And it's in those exact moments that most people slow down, procrastinate, or stop altogether. But high achievers, winners, and those who consistently operate at a high level, they don't depend on motivation. They depend on discipline. They move whether they feel like it or not. They operate by a decision, not a sensation. That's the difference between wishful thinking and consistent progress. Discipline is what kicks in when emotions shut off. It's the inner contract you make with yourself that says, I show up no matter what. And that contract is kept in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when no one is cheering you on, when no external reward is immediately visible. This is where the gap between average and excellence is created. Discipline makes you move through fatigue, through boredom, through discomfort, because the decision to grow has already been made. Most people overestimate what motivation can do and underestimate the power of daily disciplined action. You don't need to feel amazing to make progress. You just need to act. Discipline doesn't care if you're in the mood. Discipline doesn't ask if it's convenient. It simply says, we said we'd do it, so we're doing it. And that kind of mindset is rare because it's forged in struggle, in pressure, in repetition. But that rarity is what makes it powerful. Think about any meaningful achievement you've ever accomplished. It wasn't built on a string of perfect days filled with high energy and excitement. It was built in the trenches, on those hard mornings when you pushed anyway, on the long nights when you kept going, on the days when you wanted to quit but refused to fold. That's the core of discipline, consistent action regardless of circumstance. And the more you feed it, the stronger it gets. Motivation may get you started, but it won't keep you going. The fire you feel at the beginning of a new goal will fade. The hype will die down. The crowd will stop clapping. And in that silence, discipline becomes your voice. It reminds you why you started. It reminds you that your future isn't built in bursts of inspiration. It's built in steady, intentional, daily grind. Discipline doesn't just shape your habits, it shapes your identity. Every time you follow through when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when it's inconvenient, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. And when you stack those votes day after day, the transformation becomes inevitable. You don't just do disciplined things, you become a disciplined person. It's not about perfection, but about direction. And with discipline guiding you, that direction is always forward. In a world addicted to instant results and short bursts of effort, the person who masters discipline becomes unstoppable. Because while others wait for a feeling, you move with intention. While they need motivation to get started, you keep showing up long after the mood fades. And that consistency, that's where breakthroughs live. That's where real growth happens. That's where greatness is built day by day, choice by choice. When you lack vision, effort becomes a chore. You can't push yourself to do hard things if you don't see the point of doing them. Every task, every responsibility, every struggle feels like a pointless exercise, and you'll quickly fall into the trap of doing the bare minimum or nothing at all. But when you have a clear vision everything changes. Vision is the fuel that powers the engine of effort. It transforms the mundane into the meaningful. Without a vision, you're wandering aimlessly, but with a clear vision, every step you take is purposeful, even if it's challenging. The power of vision is that it makes your sacrifices worthwhile. When you can see the life you want, the person you want to become, and the impact you want to have, the temporary discomfort of hard work doesn't seem as daunting. It becomes an investment. Every early morning, every late night, every bit of effort put in when no one is watching starts to feel like a step towards something bigger. Your vision will pull you through moments of doubt, fear, and exhaustion because you know that it's leading to something far greater than the temporary pain. Vision gives you direction. It's like a compass in the chaos of life. When you know where you're headed, you can navigate through distractions, obstacles, and setbacks. The road to success is rarely straight, and without a vision, you might get lost wandering from one shiny object to another, distracted by all the noise. But with a vision, you can stay focused on your goals. It cuts through the fog and guides you in the right direction, no matter how difficult or confusing the journey might seem. Vision also provides clarity in decision making. When you have a compelling picture of your future, every decision you face is filtered through that vision. Will this action take me closer to my vision, or will it pull me away from it? Will this choice help me grow, or will it keep me stuck? Vision makes it easy to prioritize what matters and eliminate the things that don't. It's a lens through which all your choices become clearer, sharper, and more aligned with your ultimate purpose. Without vision, it's easy to become discouraged. Hard work can feel like a never-ending grind if you can't see the outcome. The days when nothing seems to be happening, when progress feels invisible, can cause you to doubt your efforts. But vision keeps you going in those moments of uncertainty. It's the picture of the future that tells you this is worth it. Keep going. The progress is happening even when you can't see it. It's the reminder that the work you're doing now is building something that will eventually pay off. The strength of your vision also determines the strength of your resolve. If your vision is weak, your effort will be weak. If your vision is clear, compelling, and massive, your effort will reflect that. People who are truly driven aren't just working hard. They're working hard for something that matters deeply to them. Their vision gives them an unshakable belief that what they're doing is important, and that belief fuels their relentless pursuit of success. The more inspiring your vision is, the stronger your commitment will be to see it through no matter the challenges. Your vision acts as a filter for your energy. When you know exactly where you want to go and what you want to achieve, your energy is naturally channeled toward actions that align with your goals. You stop wasting time and effort on things that don't contribute to your vision. Vision allows you to filter out distractions, minimize time spent on unproductive tasks, and focus all your energy on the things that matter most. You become far more efficient and effective in your work because your energy is aligned with your purpose. Vision gives your effort meaning. It's not just about working hard for the sake of working hard. It's about working hard because that effort is connected to something far greater than you. Something that excites you, challenges you, and drives you forward. Without vision, effort feels like an endless series of tasks. With vision, each task becomes a stepping stone toward the future you're creating. The effort is no longer a burden. It's the bridge to your dreams, and every step you take brings you closer to fulfilling your purpose. There is a dangerous myth circulating among people who are waiting for success, the idea that they need permission to work hard. They wait for someone to tell them that it's time to grind, to work towards their dreams, to put in the effort. They seek approval from mentors, bosses, family, or society, thinking that someone else's recognition or endorsement will validate their efforts. But here's the truth. Hard work doesn't require permission. You don't need anyone's approval to start moving towards your goals. The only permission you need is the one you give yourself. Most people live their lives waiting for a sign, a green light, or a push from someone else before they take the first step. They think they need the perfect moment, the right timing, or a special blessing. But by the time the permission finally comes, they've already missed countless opportunities. The truth is, the only thing holding them back is their own hesitation. They have to give themselves the authority to act, to do the hard work, and to take the first step. Without this internal permission, they will continue to live in a cycle of inertia, waiting for a moment that may never come. If you're waiting for someone to tell you to work hard, you'll always be stuck. You'll always be on someone else's timetable, living according to someone else's standards. But when you realize that the most powerful moments of growth are the ones you create yourself, you take control. You decide that the time is now. You step up. You stop asking for permission because you understand that hard work isn't something that requires external validation. It's something you claim for yourself. Hard work doesn't need external approval because the process of working hard is inherently empowering. When you make the decision to give everything to your goals, you're not doing it for anyone else but yourself. The effort you put in is a reflection of your personal commitment to your future, your growth, and your success. No one can give you the strength or the drive to work hard. That's something only you can develop. When you stop waiting for permission, you realize that the power to succeed has always been in your hands. Every successful person who has ever accomplished something extraordinary did so without waiting for someone to give them a stamp of approval. They decided that they were going to do whatever it took to reach their goals. They didn't wait for a nod from anyone. They didn't check with others to see if they were allowed to work hard. They just did it. And in doing so, they broke free from the chains of indecision and doubt. They created their own opportunities, carving their path forward through persistence and effort, even when it wasn't easy. Waiting for permission also ties you to other people's timelines. It forces you to rely on circumstances that are beyond your control, and it creates a victim mindset. You're essentially saying, I need someone else to tell me it's time, which puts the power of your success into the hands of others. But when you take ownership of your work, you realize that success doesn't come from waiting for someone to grant you permission. It comes from showing up every single day and doing the work regardless of what others think or say. It's time to stop being passive about your potential. It's time to stop waiting for someone to approve of your ambition. You are the only one who can give yourself permission to push harder, work longer, and sacrifice more. The people who succeed at the highest levels are the ones who do so without asking anyone's permission to work hard. They understand that the road to success is built on self-motivation, discipline, and determination, not on external approval. The beauty of taking control over your own work ethic is that it becomes completely self-rewarding. You stop looking for outside validation because you know that the real reward is in the progress you make each day. The sense of accomplishment that comes from putting in the work, from giving your all, is far greater than any approval you could receive from someone else. Hard work, once you embrace it as your own responsibility, becomes the key to unlocking your full potential and achieving the life you desire. Mental toughness is not something that you're born with. It's something you develop, something you build over time. The foundation of mental toughness lies in resistance, the kind of resistance that comes from pushing against your limits, your doubts, and your fears every single day. Just like a muscle, mental toughness grows stronger when you subject it to consistent strain. And the beauty of this process is that it doesn't require perfection, it just requires persistence in the face of discomfort and adversity. Every time you choose to push through a difficult situation, every time you face something challenging, instead of running from it, you're building mental toughness. The person who's never faced difficulty can't develop the resilience needed to handle the demands of success. But every obstacle, every tough decision, every time you choose discomfort over comfort, you're laying the bricks for your mental foundation. It's these small, seemingly insignificant moments of resistance that compound over time to create a mind that is unshakable. Most people avoid resistance. They shy away from discomfort, from challenge, from failure. They take the easy road, seeking the path of least resistance, and in doing so, they stunt their own growth. They miss out on the opportunities for strength and growth that only come when you confront hardship head on. Resistance is where the growth happens. You don't develop mental toughness by doing what's easy or what's comfortable. You develop it by repeatedly stepping into the fire, by choosing the hard path, by staying in the fight when every part of you wants to quit. It's easy to be mentally tough when things are going well, when life is smooth and success is flowing. But true mental toughness is forged in the storm. It's developed in those moments when you feel like giving up, when you're exhausted, when you don't see any progress, when you wonder if it's all worth it. It's in those moments that you make the decision to push through, to keep going, to hold on just a little longer. Every time you do that, you strengthen your ability to persevere, to stay focused on the bigger picture, and to trust in the process despite the temporary setbacks. Resistance doesn't just build toughness, it refines it. Just as fire purifies gold, resistance purifies your character. It sharpens your focus, hones your discipline, and strengthens your resolve. The more you experience resistance, the better equipped you become to handle it in the future. What once felt impossible, what once seemed overwhelming, eventually becomes second nature. Your mind learns to adapt to pressure. Your resilience deepens, your confidence grows, and what once felt like an insurmountable challenge becomes just another hurdle that you leap over with ease. One of the most powerful aspects of resistance is that it teaches you how to handle discomfort. The world is filled with distractions, challenges, and tough times that will force you to confront discomfort at every turn. Mental toughness is not about avoiding discomfort, it's about learning how to function and even thrive in the midst of it. The more you place yourself in situations that test your patience, your endurance, and your resolve, the more you become someone who is capable of handling whatever life throws your way. Resistance also forces you to develop a growth mindset. When you face difficulties and choose to push through them, you start to see setbacks as opportunities for growth. You no longer view failure as a sign to quit. Instead, you view it as a lesson, a stepping stone that helps you build the skills and mindset needed to succeed in the future. With each new challenge, your belief in your own ability grows stronger. You realize that you can handle more than you ever thought possible, and that confidence in your own resilience is what drives you to push even harder the next time. And this process doesn't happen overnight. Building mental toughness takes time. It's not something you develop in a day or even a week. It's the result of countless decisions to push through the discomfort, to keep going when things get tough, and to stand tall when everything around you is falling apart. But over time, those decisions compound. You look back and realize you've grown into someone who is capable of handling challenges that would have once seemed insurmountable. And the best part, you realize that you've only just begun. The more resistance you face, the more mentally tough you become, and that's a power that can carry you through anything. When you have a goal, you need to make the decision that it will happen no matter what. Too often, people negotiate with their goals. They make excuses, rationalize why they can't commit fully, or allow distractions to take precedence. They say things like, I'll start tomorrow, or maybe I'll just do it later, but those small compromises erode your progress. Every time you negotiate with your goals, you're giving yourself an excuse to delay success. You're letting the voice of comfort win And that voice will always tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. The truth is, your goals aren't interested in excuses. They don't care if you're tired, if life gets in the way, or if you're feeling overwhelmed. A goal is a commitment that demands your full attention, your full energy, and your full effort. Every time you negotiate, you weaken that commitment. You water it down, dilute it, and set yourself up for failure. If you truly want to achieve your goals, you have to stop giving yourself permission to compromise. You can't afford to make deals with yourself anymore. When you stop negotiating, you stop making exceptions. Successful people don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait for the stars to align or for the conditions to be ideal. They act now. They understand that time waits for no one, and every day that they delay is a day they'll never get back. If you want your goals to matter, you have to act like they matter. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you're telling the universe that your goal is optional. But when you stop negotiating, you treat your goals as non-negotiable. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of setting a goal, but the real work begins when it's time to execute. That's when the distractions appear, the doubts creep in, and the discomfort rises. Negotiating with your goals is a way to escape that discomfort. But escaping discomfort never leads to growth. It's only through facing the resistance head-on that you develop the strength, skills, and character necessary to succeed. Negotiation with your goals is simply a way to avoid that growth. When you refuse to negotiate, you embrace the challenges and push through them, knowing that on the other side lies success. Every time you negotiate with your goals, you lose momentum. You get comfortable with the idea of later and tomorrow, and before you know it, you've wasted precious time. Time is the most valuable resource you have. Once it's gone forever. Your goals aren't waiting for the perfect moment to show up. They're waiting for you to show up consistently, relentlessly, without making excuses. The longer you negotiate, the further away your dreams move. And the more time you waste convincing yourself that you can achieve them later. In order to stop negotiating with your goals, you need to create non-negotiable actions. Set up systems, routines, and structures that make it impossible for you to put things off. Make your goals part of your daily life. Something that you commit to every single day without fail. Whether you feel like it or not, you need to show up. When your actions are non-negotiable, your goals stop being a wish and become a reality. Success is not just about setting goals, it's about following through day in and day out until those goals become your reality. The key to stopping negotiations with your goals is taking full ownership of your actions. Stop blaming external factors, other people, or circumstances for your lack of progress. Your goals are yours, and you have the power to make them happen or let them slip away. It's all in your hands. Every excuse you make, every delay, every time you push your goals off until tomorrow, you're giving away your power. But when you take ownership, when you stop negotiating, you take back control of your life. You make the decision that your goals will not be put on hold no matter the circumstances. When you stop negotiating with your goals, you make a promise to yourself that you will no longer allow excuses, distractions, or laziness to stand in the way of your dreams. You commit to doing whatever it takes to achieve what you set out to do, and you hold yourself accountable, even when it's hard. The moment you stop negotiating, you start making progress at a pace you never thought possible. You move from being a dreamer to being a doer. Your goals go from being something you hope for to something you are actively creating with every choice you make. And that's when everything begins to change. Your future is not something that magically happens tomorrow. It's built by the decisions, actions, and mindset you choose to adopt today. People often look at success as something that's just going to show up one day, as if it will fall into their laps. But that's not how it works. The future you dream of is not a product of chance. It's the result of what you do right now. The reality is everything you want in life, the wealth, the success, the fulfillment, is already being determined by your present actions. You are laying the foundation for your future in every single moment. If you're waiting for the perfect moment to start, for things to line up just right, or for the conditions to be ideal, you're wasting precious time. The truth is, there is no perfect moment. The moment you're in right now is all you have, and what you do with it will shape the future that you experience. Your choices today dictate the opportunities you will have tomorrow. Every decision you make, every habit you form, every action you take today is a seed planted for your future. If you want to change your tomorrow, you have to start by changing your actions today. The decisions you make now create your future self. The person you are becoming is not some distant version of yourself, but rather the cumulative result of everything you are doing in this moment. The habits you form today, whether it's in your work, your relationships, your health, or your mindset, are what will define the person you become. If you're consistently making decisions that align with your values and your goals, you are actively shaping the person you want to be in the future. But if you're making choices based on convenience or comfort, then you are also creating the future that reflects those choices. Your future is not determined by luck or circumstances. It's determined by the work you put in when no one is watching, by the effort you put forth when it's hard, and by the commitment you make to your goals. Every successful person will tell you the same thing. They didn't get where they are by waiting for opportunities to fall into their lap. They got there by working tirelessly, by showing up every day, and by doing the things others weren't willing to do. Success is earned, not given. And the work you're doing today is what earns you the right to have the future you desire. Too often, people underestimate the power of small daily actions. They believe that success is the result of big grand gestures or massive breakthroughs. But in reality, success is the sum total of all the small choices you make every single day. Every time you choose to show up when it's hard, every time you push past the distractions and do the work, you're shaping your future. It's easy to think that one day won't matter, but one day builds upon another. What you do now matters more than you realize, because these small actions compound and create the momentum that drives you forward. If you want a future of abundance, you must plant the seeds of that abundance today. The way you think, the way you work, the way you treat others, all of it plays a role in creating the life you want. Success isn't something that happens overnight, but something that's earned over time. You don't get the life you want by sitting around hoping it will come. You get it by taking consistent action, by doing the hard work even when it's uncomfortable, and by committing to your goals with unwavering focus. What you do in the present moment creates the conditions for your future. Every hour you spend procrastinating is an hour you can never get back. Every moment you waste is a moment lost in the pursuit of your dreams. Your future is being written in real time, and you're the one holding the pen. If you want a different future, you must be willing to make different choices today. You have the power to create the life you desire, but it requires you to take full responsibility for the actions you're taking right now. The future will not come and find you. You must build it step by step, decision by decision. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. Every minute you spend wasting time today is a minute you'll never get to spend building the future you want. The truth is, you can't afford to wait any longer. If you're serious about creating a better life, you must start now. The choices you make today are the building blocks of the future you'll live in tomorrow. The life you want is waiting for you, but you must start working for it today. What you do now in this moment is what will determine the future you will live. So don't wait, start now. Your future is being earned in the present.